Hello everyone, my name is Rohini Kapse. Today we are going to learn the subject operating system concept and the chapter is CPU scheduling. As all of us know, in single programming system, only one program is running at any time and all other programs have to wait till the currently running program finishes its execution and the CPU becomes free. When the CPU becomes free, it will allocate to the another process. If the running process requests for IO device, the CPU has to wait till the IO finishes, thus the CPU time is wasted. And this is the point where the multi-programmed operating system concept is introduced. The idea is if the currently running process is waiting for some IO devices, due to which CPU is sitting idle, then the other process is allocated to CPU and the CPU time is saved. The switching between process is possible by descheduling the process from CPU and allocating some other process to CPU. Thus, the selection of this some other process is a key point over here, and CPU scheduling algorithm are used to selection of a new process. There are different objectives to learn this chapter, that is CPU or process scheduling. The first one is to introduce the CPU scheduling, which is the basis for multi-programmed operating system, which we discussed just now. Second objective is to describe various CPU scheduling algorithms, because there are different types of scheduling algorithms are available, and depending on the particular system, the evaluation criteria are going to apply and a proper scheduling algorithm will be selected for execution. And the last objective is to examine the scheduling algorithm of several operating systems. Now the basic concept over here is the execution of the process consists of a cycle, and that cycle consisting of CPU execution and IO wait. Means this process will require some time of CPU for execution and it requires some IO wait. And over here the maximum CPU utilization is obtained with multi-programming systems. CPU and IO burst cycle process execution consists of a cycle of CPU execution and IO wait, and CPU burst distribution is of main concern. CPU scheduler. So you should know this term. There are different types of scheduler are available. First is called as long-term scheduler, second is called as short-term scheduler, and third one is called as a medium-term scheduler. Short-term scheduler, it is a scheduler which selects from among the processes in ready queue and allocates the CPU to one of them. Over here the queue may be ordered in various ways. CPU scheduling decisions may take place when a process switches from running to waiting state, switches from running to ready state, switches from waiting to ready, or terminates. The first and fourth criteria is called as non-preemptive and the second and third is called as preemptive criteria. Here the term dispatcher introduced. Dispatcher module gives the control of CPU to the process selected by the short-term scheduler, which involves switching context, switching to user mode and jumping to the proper location in the user program to restart that program. And the term introduced over here, it is dispatch latency, which is the time it takes for dispatcher to stop one process and start another running. There are different scheduling criteria are applied. The first one is called as CPU utilization. Normally the CPU is kept as much busy as possible. CPU utilization is the range that the CPU is busy. Normally this range is 0 to 100%, but in real systems this range varies from 40% for lightly loaded system and 90% for heavily loaded system. The second criteria is throughput. If CPU is busy, then we say that the work is being done. Throughput is the number of processes that are completed per time unit. An algorithm is more efficient if the throughput is more. Turnaround time is the amount of time that is taken by a process for execution. That is, time of submission to time of completion is called as turnaround time. Waiting time, the amount of time a process has been waiting in the ready queue. And the last criteria is called as response time, the amount of time it takes from when a request is submitted until the first response is produced. Remember, we are not going to consider the output. Here we are going to look for the first response after submission of the process to the CPU. It's called as response time. To optimize the performance of the system, following 5 criteria must meet. We always want to have the maximum CPU utilization. At the same time, we always want to have maximum number of processes to be completed per time unit, that is maximum throughput. Third one is minimum turnaround time. Here we are going to schedule the process in such a way that it requires less amount of time for execution and less amount of time it has to be there in the ready queue, that is minimum waiting time and minimum response time. When we talk about FCFS scheduling, this is one type of CPU scheduling algorithm. Thank you.